Niyi Adesanya is a doyen with the African consulting landscape, formative impact on organizational development and leadership strategies. With a profound commitment to growth and innovation, Niyi's unparalleled insights have earned him a well-deserved reputation as a trusted advisor to CEOs, C-suite executives, and seasoned professionals across various sectors, helping them navigate their business with engineering process. He is an unrivaled and renowned performance strategist and speaker with strong business acumen. His business and life coaching platform has helped business owners across various sectors cut through the complexities of today's rapidly changing business environment using his innovative MACE procedure template that he developed from his years of leadership management practice. An offshoot of these engagements with the business owners has yielded between 63% to 313% increase in their bottom line. Beyond the boardroom, his influence reverberates on a global scale through his captivating keynote addresses. His eloquence and insights captivate audiences, making him a sought-after speaker who inspires and empowers listeners to catalyze change in their spheres. Niyi's profound contributions are exemplified by his commitment to nurturing leadership excellence. His flagship program, the Niyi Adesanya Leadership Bootcamp, Africa's premier leadership pilgrimage, draws luminaries and industry leaders from around the world. Niyi Adesanya is the CEO of Fifth Gear Plus, a consulting, recruiting and publishing firm with clients including at least one of the top 3 organizations in major sectors of the economy. With much insight and depth, he provides expertise consultancy while chairing strategic sessions aimed at helping these organizations optimize their corporate potential. He was awarded Nigeria's foremost performance strategist, Middle East Africa Award, Leadership Coach of the Year by Top 10 magazine, and awarded the African Prize for Leadership Excellence. He holds a Doctor of Transformational Leadership honoris causa from the prestigious Miles Leadership University, and he is a doctoral fellow of the Institute of Leadership Assessment and Development and accredited member of International Council of ELAD. He was issued a certificate of honor as the Personality of the Year by African Advancement Forum. He is also an esteemed facilitator at the renowned Daystar Leadership Academy in Nigeria, a non-profit institution dedicated to leadership and management development. As the author of 6 compelling books on public speaking, leadership, and peak performance, he imparts wisdom that transcends pages, igniting transformation in individuals and organizations alike. His multifaceted roles as an advisor, author, speaker and board member epitomizes his holistic approach to driving a centenary change in the corporate landscape. He is also the chairman, board of trustees of the Niyi Adesanya Foundation, a non-governmental organization with a vision to raise empowered Africans full of hope and confidence, catalyzing positive change across the continent. Please welcome our guest speaker, Niyi Adesanya.
Receive him powerfully. You are not doing well at all. Let's do better. Let's give it up to him. Straight up, straight up. Let's keep celebrating till he gets here. Keep celebrating till he gets here.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. You may take your seat. The welcome was mind-blowing. Thank you so much. So that I don't forget what I'm here to do. Thank you. Thank you. at Brother Kawade's Okwebi house, that uncompleted building. Uncompleted building. Thank you so much for all you do. And then coming in here, seeing these beautiful faces, and then the way the organization went. My God, thank you. God bless you. God increase you. God will cause his face to shine upon you. Thank you so much. And thank you for giving me the privilege to talk to women. I guess I was saying it at the Zoom meeting, Insta Live, that my gathering is always full of men. I don't know why, but God will open my eyes one day to know. Is it that I'm not speaking the right language to attract the women? But thank God, Pastor Mayokun has helped me bridge the gap. So by the time I count the people who are here today that I spoke to, and I bring it side by side with my own men, it should be 50-50. Thank you, thank you. You know, we saw TBWF, am I right? Start. It was more like, will it work? Will it work? Will it not work? Now we can see that it is working. It is working. It is working. So proud of you, man. So proud of you, man. So proud of you. You guys are tempting me. You're tempting me. With that board, you're tempting me. Hope you know that, okay, how many hours do I have? You know, that's one of the reasons why I don't like going to speak in a Sunday service. Because they peg you 30 minutes, 25 minutes, 40 minutes. But when I have my own meetings, we start like 10 a.m., we don't finish until 5 p.m. But don't worry, I won't try it here. Because there's so many things to say, so many things to bring on board. But we'll make it as snappy as we can and make it as more impactful as we can. And I believe that God has a plan for us. I believe God is going to change the way we think. God is going to change a whole lot of things about us. I want you to get ready. It may not be like the normal teaching that you normally have. I am more or less a disruptor because I may not teach you what your pastor is teaching you. For instance, your pastor may tell you as business people not to go get a loan. I will tell you, go get a loan. I'll get you go get a loan. There is no successful businessman on the face of this earth that doesn't have a loan attached to them. What you do with the loan is what is more important. And then when they say don't get a loan, you don't mind them too much. Because loan is OPM, other people's money. And then the money that they used to do the churches and build the churches and everything was also OPM in a way. But just that, was other people's money. We all contributed our tithe and our offering. But when he left out, it became God money. But it was other people that brought it. So the bank also is also using OPM. So you should know how to go about, even, was it Elijah now? When the widow came to meet him, that they're about to take my 2 sons. What did he tell her? Go and borrow. Go and borrow, not a few. Borrow. And then, look, businesses fail when they cannot refinance their loan. Most big businesses, they live on loan. They may have their own money stuck somewhere. The successful businessman is the one that keeps his money, 1 billion, 5 billion on one side, but he won't use his 5 billion. He will rather use the bank's 5 billion to run his businesses. But if the bank calls for their money, he has his reserve to be able to meet up. When you see people file for bankruptcy, it's because they went back to the bank to refinance the loan, and probably they didn't meet some condition, or the bank does not have money to give them again. So they now say, you have to go on bankruptcy. Now, like I said, with the way I'm talking right now, you should know that there are some things that you will hear here today that, I don't know how to say this, but Pastor Mayokun will come and correct it later. If there's a need to correct it, she will come and correct it later. But I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to speak to business people on how you can take charge, how you can be a industry captain, how you can be in charge, how you can be in control, how you can be the one controlling your industry. To the glory of God, I think in Nigeria right now, when it comes to the knowledge industry, I am a key holder. I am a key holder. There are some things that we do in our organization that you have to be very rich for you to compete with us. And there are some things that we have helped businesses become that you have to be extraordinary for you to be able to accomplish it. Now, I have picked, to the glory of God, we pick people from the backside, from the hood, from places where they've been written off. I mean, guys who grew up in Ajegule. You need to listen to those people, those boys now. They will tell you that we were pussycats before. Now we are lions in our industry. Some of the things that we did to them that changed them to becoming lions, I'm going to be sharing here today. Recently, in the real estate industry in Nigeria, we decided to test our strengths to see whether we have really become lion or we are pussycats. And we contested for election, not me, my boys, my sons. They contested for election of the REDAN, Real Estate Development Association. We won Lagos, we won Ogun State, we won Ekiti State, we won Osun State. Ondo State, we didn't have interest in that. But Lagos State was the most serious fight, but we won it. Guess what? We were ready, money for money, wisdom. We had wisdom. We're not sure they had wisdom. We were ready, police for police, and talk for talk. Yeah. You know, because sometimes when we come into the marketplace as Christians, we come in with a timid mentality. But nobody will give you a market share because you just speak in tongues. Nobody will give you a market share. Nobody will give you a market share because you just speak in tongues. And that is why most times, that's why I love what you did. The lineup of speakers are people who are in the marketplace. And they should come and teach you how it operates in the marketplace. Because most of the time, your pastor gives you that covering. Your pastor empowers you. Your pastor anoints you to go into the marketplace. But he may not understand the workings in the marketplace. There's a working. There's a way things ought to go. There's a way you are supposed to approach it. Especially in Nigeria. How do you get contracts without giving bribes? In a corrupt system. And then we take our Christian mentality into that space. We can't give bribe, we can't give bribe, we can't give bribe. It's okay. You may get a job once, you may not get it forever. There is a way to it without soiling your hands. There's a way to it without you being corrupt, like they will be corrupt. I remember so many years, I went to bid for a job in a particular state in southwest. Let me save the state, in case you are from the state. And then we got discussing, and then I was telling them all the things I was going to do. They were objecting to it. They were objecting to it. It cannot be possible. This cannot be done. This cannot be done. That cannot be done. I just said, will you just allow me land? And it's okay, finish what you want to do. What do you want to say? We started talking. And then after I'm done with what I want to do, I started opening up opportunities for them to be able to see what they can get from what I'm supposed to do. Legit. If we do this,
We will have to do that. And for us to do that, we will not be the one to do that. You people will have to get the people to do that. If we do this, that means we must be able to do this and that. We will not do this and that. You will be able to do this and that. From there on, civil servants. You see the this and the that and the that and the this that I was introducing, they started seeing their own portion in it. So they left my own portion. Whatever happens with the this or that or this, that is their own problem. Don't ask, don't tell. As long as I am not the one signing off on those ones, it does not really concern me. And then I got the job. I was clean, hands clean, everything clean. And what happened to the other this or that or that or this, not my business. And he said, because even the Bible says that when you approach things, you must approach things with the, be wise as a serpent, but be gentle as a dove. In other words, there should be no wisdom the people of this world will come up with. There should be no strategy that they have that you're not aware of. But you're just making sure that your own strategy is not to make anybody cry or to hurt anybody. But you must know the moves. You must know how things work in the marketplace. So this morning, I'm going to be teaching on becoming a captain in the industry. How to lead in the industry. I came here with some of my books. Individual competitiveness, leadership quadrant. We're talking about leadership here. This is my first book on leadership. 11 case studies here that you can lay your hands on and read. Now, if you want to change your game, this is the recommended book for you. Changing your game, game changer. I've changed my game. If you don't understand this, Pastor Mayoko understands. Because she knew me where everything was okay. I have changed my game. I've done things in my industry that it's only a multinational that can do. I mean, going to the best of the best hotels in Nigeria, a hotel, and locking down for 2 days, 200 rooms. Having over 500 participants in a room, and they didn't pay 1,000 naira. They didn't pay 100,000 naira. Having to build a platform where people pay thousands of dollars to be part of the platform. Having people travel with me all over the world. And when we go all over the world like that, we're not talking about 30 people, we're talking about 60, 70 people all over, from Canada, UK, everywhere, America, coming together because I changed my game. The secret is here. You can lay your hands on the book. And then this is my latest book. It's called Grow. Interestingly, Grow is not for sale, and it's not free gift also. This was where when I clocked 30 on stage, clocked 30, and also when I marked my 25 years as an ordained minister. I always try to tell people that 25 years. If I'm in some denomination right now, I should be bishop or very close to pope. So 25 years grow, but when you get out there, they will tell you what you need to do to get this done. Let's get down to business. Is that okay? Father, in Jesus' name, we thank you. As I move today and I speak through me. Anoint my lips of clay. Let me speak the word in due season to the weary soul. Let there be a lifting up of people here today in the name of Jesus. Thank you, Heavenly Father. In Jesus' precious name we pray. Now, look. For you to lead in your industry, you cannot afford to be emotional about it. You cannot afford to be emotional about it. And you must know where the money is. Have you heard people tell you that there is no money? They are right. Same Nigerian will tell you there is money because most of us, we follow trends, we don't follow data. We follow trends, we don't follow data. We follow trends, we don't follow statistics. What we see most of the time are what we see on social media. Social media. But the ones who are seeing the money are following data. Like our pastor used to say, just to let us know there is money in the city, money in Nigeria. That how many, what is the population of Lagos? Let's just say 20 million. Am I right? Let's just say 20 million. How much do you spend averagely on food in Lagos every day? How much? Average. I know some of you spend 100,000 per day, every day. I know some of you spend 1 million per day. It's okay. But I know some of us spend a little bit of 500. But when we look at average, let's just say 2,000 per day. Is that okay? So if you multiply 2,000 by 20 million people, what do you have? What do you have? Please talk to me. You can use your calculator. Is it 4 billion or 40 billion? Which one? 40 billion. You know what that means? That means 40 billion is circulating in Lagos only on food alone. So if you say there is no money, that means you don't have enough insight. And then when you look at it, James, can I come down, Pastor Mayokun? When you look at it, then you begin to ask yourself, where is this money? Where is this money? You know there is the 1% of the world's population that controls almost everything. This 1%, according to data, they control 48.9% of the total wealth in the world. 1%. 10% upwards, they control 85% of the total wealth. Now, if 10% plus 1% controls 85% of the total wealth, you know what that means? That means they left 15% for 90% to be struggling with. If I were you, I would not be playing the game of the 90, I would be playing the game of the 10% and the 1%. Because until you play the game of the 1% and the 10%, it's very likely that you will not see money. It's very likely that your business will collapse. It's very likely that you will be struggling and trying to make ends meet. 1% controls 48.9% of the total wealth. Now, this 1% between 2020, COVID year, and 2022, this 1%, according to statistics, they said it was about 42 trillion US dollars that was in circulation around that time. 42 trillion dollars. This 1%, guys, they took 26 trillion of that 42 trillion. They now left 16 trillion for 99% to be struggling with. So when you say there is no money, you are actually right. Probably you are in the category of the 90% or the 99%. Because by the time 99% are struggling with 16 trillion, you know it won't go round. While the guys who are 1% are taking onto themselves 26 trillion. Who are these people who are 1%? Any industry you find yourself, good to see you, sir. My dear, good to see you. Any industry you find yourself, whether music, whether church, whether bakery, any industry you find yourself, the 1% in that industry are always the one cashing out. Medicine, law, any profession, 1% are always cashing out. 10% are belonging amongst those cashing out. 30% are just trying to get by, while 70% are saying there is no money. So, whenever I'm teaching, whenever I'm working on the minds of people, I'm working on their minds to be able to attain a minimum of 10%, that 10% category of people, or the 1%. But you know there is another 1% of the 1%. 1% of the 1%. So what we do is for you to sit down and then begin to ask yourself, what are these 1% guys doing? How are they thinking? How are they running their businesses? How are the 10% running their businesses? Because the guys who are 1% or 10% are the captains of industry. They are the one leading in their sphere. They are the one calling the shots. They are the ones that we are standing before every now and then. You know, the Bible says in the book of Proverbs 22, verse 29, it said, do you see a man that is diligent in that which he does? He will become what? He will stand before kings and not before men. The question is that we have always trained our church members to stand and be diligent to stand before kings. We have not trained them to become kings themselves, where people will have to stand before them. I don't want to always stand. I can start with being diligent and standing before kings, but I want to be a owner of the territory. That people will have to stand before me before they can get a piece of the cake that we are baking in the industry. That is the mentality that every Christian should have. That is the mentality every pastor should impute or infuse into their members, that we get into the marketplace and people are standing before us. That's why whenever I teach Matthew 25, teach Matthew 25. When you teach Matthew 25, people always focus on the guy with the 5 talents. They focus on the guy with the 2 talents and the guy with the 1 talent. But I focus on the guy with the 1 talent because the guy with the 1 talent told us how the master got the 8 talents. Because when you get into the market, it's either you are coming to buy or to sell. Buy or sell. The guy who came to buy is losing money. The guy who came to buy is losing money. The guy who came to sell is making money. But we never teach our people that there is what we call the owners of the market. There's some people who own the market. There's some people who call the shot. If all of you came to sell, after you have sold, I'm going to receive a portion of your sales. And that makes me more richer. That makes me more in control. That makes me the captain in that industry. Because if I kick you out of the market, you're out of the market. It does not matter whether you speak in tongues or not. And you must know all these things. For some few years back, 10 years, 12 years ago, something happened that the banks of tongue-talking Christians were taking. Hope you know that. Done by one guy who's becoming, I don't know whether it's an emir now or emir, you know what I mean. You get it. You get it. Now, this guy came with a degree, with a policy, and took the bank of tongue-talking Christians. I call them the blue boys. These guys were ushers. They were pastors in their denomination, big denominations for that matter. But he took their bank. And he was going for the banks of some unbelievers or believers who were not nominal Christians. I call them the red boys. But the red boys understood the language of the streets. They understood the language of the markets. They ran to places that they were supposed to run to, and the places they ran to, they gagged this regulator. They told him, you can't go on. So he came up with another rule, that if you have been the MD of your bank for over 10 years, resign. And then you don't have the right to be a member of your board until after 10 years. So they left their bank, but they were still owners of their banks. You know, when the Bible says that the children of this world are wiser than the children of the kingdom, that was what happened 10, 12 years ago. When Sanusi I don't need to even hide the name now. Released a law. And then the banks of the Christians were taken. And then the unbelievers knew what to do. They ran in there and they gagged him. They left their bank, but after a while, he became an emir. So they now lobbied their boy. You get what I'm saying? 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 Okay. Calm down. You know my time is flying. Calm down. They lobbied their boy to become the CBN governor. And then the CBN governor, one of his assignments was that he canceled that policy that made them leave their banks. And he said they can come back and become a board member. And these red boys came back to become the chairman of their banks. The children of this world are wiser in their generation than the children of light. That's why you should bless your pastor for bringing you to this conference and for organizing it. Now let me talk to you, women. Let me talk to you. One of the things I'm going to be sharing, some of them I'm going to be sharing here is the secret that we have used as men to dominate your world. I know you've cried, Me Too movement. You cried, Beijing, China, you did all that. Yeah, you thought you won. Yeah, you won actually. But right now we are even coming to your space. You know why? We are transforming to becoming you. And then we are beating you in your field. They call it the transgender people. You thought you have won, but we are coming to your space. Yeah. They're coming. They're taking charge. They are winning competition. Very soon they will be getting the grant that was supposed to be for you. There is a way around this. There is something to know, then there is a how to go about it. The richest women in this world were not self-made millionaires or billionaires. Hope you know that. The richest woman became rich in the world because of inheritance. Top 5 are not self-made. Top 5 either got it through inheritance or through divorce from their husbands. Data. And then the ones that, don't worry, I'll jump some slides. Okay, this is when you know that you are getting old. When you can't read things again that is close to you or far away from you. Now, when you look at this, these are self-made women, self-made millionaires or billionaires. And then you need to look at what are the fields that they were succeeding in. Lately, we realize that technology has taken a good space. But most of you ladies are succeeding in the consumer goods sector. Fashion, makeup. But even in fashion, you know who are the people dominating the space. So what are they doing? What are these men doing to take all this space and all this chance away from us? The first thing you can see from this data and statistics is that for you to succeed in the marketplace, you need to learn how to collaborate. Now let me say that. You have to collaborate. That's why you have to probably work on your husband or pray for your husband. And now for those of you who are not married, open your eyes and shine your eyes well so that you can get married to a guy who's got some business sense. Collaboration. And if you can't get, your husband is not there yet, then you need to start looking for a business mentor to be able to give you that stability. As we go on, I will explain to you. That stability that is not emotionally driven, but objective in your approach. Objective in your approach. objective in your approach. Now you have more of technology, self-made, 28. Now you say, when you say that for the 28 people in technology, you have $37.2 billion cumulatively of those 28 people. It's not up to even the richest woman in the world that inherited her wealth from her grandfather. She's worth like 99 or $90 billion. One of the daughters of the Walmart, Watson, she's about the second or the third richest woman in the world. She got her wealth from her father. But here you have the self-made people, and then you need to know what kind of business are they doing. Now, I may not know technology, but I should be wise enough to be able to flock with people who know technology and be able to identify skills, talents, and potentials of people who understand technology. So that if you have a little money, you quickly invest in them and stay with them as the chief financial officer, and you give yourself some rights. So that when they begin to make the money, you will also make a whole lot of money. A whole lot of money. Technology, fashion and retail, media and entertainment, these are the things that you should focus on, but that's not where I'm going today. The first thing I want to help you with is how do you make money? How many people want to make more money? No, I can't feel it. How many people want to make more money? One of my boys, when we meet to Dubai, he was a stage manager, managing sound. They were giving him 1 million naira for every performance in Nigeria those days. And he was glad, but he went to Dubai with us, and then when he came back, that was 2020. He came back from Dubai 2020 with 400,000 naira in his account. He started his real estate business. Right now, the guy has built over 70 units of houses, sold. He presently took me to another land that he has acquired that is going to build 98 units of houses on the island. He was able to sell and make more money. The first rule of making more money is through sales. Did I say sales? I take that back. Not through sales. It is through reselling. Reselling. It is through reorder. Many of us, we focus on sales. That's why we are not making so much money. Anybody that has given you 1,000 naira still has your 10,000 naira with them. Did you get that? If you, by mistake, give me 1,000 naira, I won't let you go off my site. I still believe you have my 10,000 naira with you, or probably 100,000 naira with you. So I'm going to follow you up. I'm going to send you a message. I'm going to make you feel good. I'm going to organize programs that will bring you in so that I can collect the remaining amount that you didn't fully give me. That is the workings of iPhone. iPhone did not become rich because of iPhone 1. You always take that, they upgrade it, they go back again, you go back and you upgrade. As you are going home, before you reach home, they say there's iPhone 13. And you take it back and you take it again, and you are going home, before you even enter your car, there's 14. And you go back and you change it. And then because they have built a community of people that they can always throw their product in, and boom, they sell. One of the things that has helped us in our adventure when it comes to the things that we do is that we have a strong community. I have a bad community. Whenever you see me have a program, whether it's 400 people, whether it's 1,000 people, whether it's 20 people, my community will give me 20 or 30% of the people attendance. Guaranteed. No matter the amount. Whether it is $10,000, whether it is $15,000, whether it's 5,000 naira, whether it is 20,000 naira, whether it's 700,000 naira, that community will give me 25 to 30%. Because I know that once you give me your 1 naira, you still have my 100 naira with you. So I put you in my community and I feed you with all my heart. I visit you, I ambush you. You know what I mean by ambush? Wherever you turn to, you see me. Even your wife knows me. Because I know that very soon you'll be discussing my case with your wife. That this boy, Niyi, is charging me too much money. I want to make sure that I have your wife in my corner. So that when you are arguing with your wife will tell you, calm down, he's a good man, no? Calm down, he's a good man, no? Do you know he's very fine, he's very nice. That's why we'll visit your home. That is why we'll be there on your children's birthday. That is why I will not miss that, because I am building that community, because once you give me 1 naira, I drop you in there. From there, I will get 100. From there, I will get 1,000. From there, I will get referrals. You want to make money? You must have the people that you have sold to continue to buy from you again and again and again. Again, again, and again. That is why you must have what we call customer profile. You must profile the people who have bought from you. Because it's easier for you to sell to the people who have bought from you than to sell to people who have not bought from you. There is a category or the kind of person that can buy from you. And those kind of person that can buy from you are the people that have already bought from you. Now, from my own findings, I realized that the people who have bought from me are first generation wealth builders. I have not been able to attract in large numbers second generation or third generation wealth builders. Second generation wealth builders were born lane. So the way they think is different from the way the first generation wealth builder thinks. So I have to get into the psyche and the thinking of the first generation wealth builder. What do I need to say? What do I need to bring on the board? What do I need to present to them that will entice them? What that will entice them may not necessarily entice the second generation wealth builder. After I've consolidated on the first generation wealth builder and I've gotten my heart together, then I can begin to change the second generation and the third generation. There's a strategy for them, but I've not deployed it yet. Let me even consummate my relationship with the first generation wealth builder. But how did I know that? I knew that because I collected data. I collected data. My people sold. When people were crying, there is no money. They sold because I asked them, who are the people that have bought from you? Figure out their location. Where are they buying from? Is it from Ogun State or your state or Lagos State or outside the country? And someone said, no, it's outside the country. Where outside the country? UK. I said, you guys now must have what we call a diaspora strategy. Go and meet them where they are. If 50% of my income came from London, I can't be in Nigeria and be sitting down. I must be in London, organizing programs in London, attracting more people. Because I can easily increase from 50% of sales to 70% because I already have 50% there, than me troubling myself on going to Onitsha or Ibadan to go and be organizing seminars that will not work. Customer engagement that will not work. Where are these people? Do you have their data? Do you have their data? Number two, you must understand that for you to stay rich or for you to be rich, there are 6 set of people that must be your friend. 6 set of people that must be your friend. And then you have on the board. Sorry, I didn't put pastors there. Let me take that away. Now put your pastor there. 6 people that must be your friend. Number 1, your doctor, because health is wealth. I've seen people who lost everything because they lost their health. When your health has failed, forget about it. You can't have a vision. Your vision is traumatized already. So when I say have a doctor as a friend, in other words, have a doctor on retainership. If you don't have the funds yet to have a doctor on retainership, make sure you are their friend. A phone call in the middle of the night could save your life. So have doctors. Not just doctors, have lawyers. Have lawyers. When, you see, if you're doing 100 million, 10 million, 5 million, it's okay. You may get away with it. But when you cross that 500 million, 1 billion naira level, and you don't have a lawyer, you are finished though. You are endangered. Have a lawyer on retainership. Pay them, and they don't charge too much. Oh. That's why you need to talk to people and know how to go about it. Retainership is no salary. Retainership is probably what you pay in a year, and then you can pay it instrumentally. But the most important thing is that because he has your money, when he sees your call, he has to answer. When you have a court case, may you not have a court case. But sometimes there's some kind of business you are doing. When they say you will not have a court case, you are not making progress. Hope you know that. You are not making progress. If you are really making progress, there will be a lot of cases. It may not get to court, but you must be able to nip it in the board before it gets there. A lawyer must be your friend. Accountant. If FIRS gives you a letter, don't go. Don't go. Get a consultant. If you try it and you're not an accountant yourself, there are so many things that they will say to you that you will not understand. The accountant you thought is very balanced. You realize that he has some K-legs. But when you have accountants, not just employed, but even external accountant, consultant that you can talk to, they are the ones that you should send to them. That's why the Yorubas will say that you send the son of fire. Accountant. We have an in-house accountant, we have an auditor, we have a consultant. I have never seen FIRS. I have never seen LIRS. My consultants have always seen them. Now, investors. But you know, this is simple. If you're doing business, you want to attract investors. You know the number one thing is your financial statement. When an investor gets your financial statement, they will know your behaviors. They will know whether you are reckless or not. And they will know that if they give you the money you're asking for, where the money will be spent to your financial statement. Get that sorted out. I won't go deep into that. And then the next one there is the owners and the politicians. I just gave you a story now of the red boys and the blue boys. You know what the red boys did? They went to the politicians. They went to the National Assembly. But how can you go to the National Assembly, oh businesswoman? And I will listen to you when I was having election. And you didn't even send me money. No donation, no support. No, you don't even need to. Don't campaign, no. Don't let your money do the campaign. Don't campaign. Coastal Road. Passing through somewhere. Is the result of campaign. Do you know that the coastal road has been moved? It's the result of campaign. That's why people who are doing big businesses, they understand this. But here, some of us Christians will sit down and we say, God will do it, God will do it, God will do it. God has already done it through the prayers of your pastor. What you need to do is to have more street sense. The Red Boys went to the National Assembly, activated campaign donations. The assembly guys brought Sanusi on gun and told him, we're supposed to supervise you. How dare you do this without telling us? They questioned him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. He couldn't do the second bidding because he said he was going for second round. Do you remember? When the next election is coming very close, the councillor, the chairman, a member of your state of assembly, and if you are doing Nigerian business, then you should know the guy who is representing you in the federal. Drop something. Give to Caesar. And give to, you know what that means? Give to APC and give to PDP or Labour, but don't campaign. I was in Port Harcourt lately, and I told them, all the businessmen here, this Fubara and Wike battle that is going on, keep your mouth shut. Support them in private. You don't know where the pendulum will swing. You see, if you have been campaigning vocal at the other side, if the pendulum swings to this side, it is just one letter. Your C of O can be revoked. One letter can be revoked. During the election 2023, I told my clients, I said, I don't care who you want to vote for. That is your choice. But listen to me. Don't ever go publicly to campaign for whoever you want to vote for. Don't go publicly. Some of them were asking me why. I said, are you a businessman or an activist? Said, we are businessmen. Then shut up. I know what I'm saying. So they kept quiet. They supported whatever they want to support. Make sure there is no camera in front of you to put you on social media. Because I know politics is war. Abiola was the richest man in Nigeria, or presumed to be the richest man in Nigeria. It was just one move that finished his family and finished the generational wealth. Just one wrong move. So when it was gubernatorial time, and I saw the intrigues of the presidential election, I asked one of my guys, his name is Simon Adozie. I called him and I asked him, who are you voting for? He said, Sanwo-Olu. I said, you, go online and start shouting. You are the only one that is permitted to campaign publicly. The other ones, their names are Gbenga, Adeleke, Emmanuel, Abikoye. You shut up. Because I knew that with what happened at the presidential election, these guys are going to draw blood. They were going to draw blood. But because this guy's name does not look like Niyi Adesanya, I needed him to go online, shout, so that when we come to defend him, when they say he's not one of us, I can show them the social media shoutings. We've never gone to that point. But you must understand that for your business to succeed and to lead in an industry, you cannot be having parties and it's only Christians that are there. You cannot be having your children's party and then you didn't reserve seat for the owners. There are people that are owners of the industry, whether you like it or yes. God can give you a space in the industry. God can make a room for you where there is no room. We don't take that from God. But you must also understand that for you to stay in that space, you must be able to reach out to the so-called owners of the industry. You want to succeed in importing rice? There is the owner of the industry. Street wisdom demands that you get their buying, or else when your rice lands, they will crash the price so that you will sell to them at a loss. They are called the lords. There is always a lord in every territory. You dislodge them 2 prayers and 2 common sense. People were surprised that what is the pastor doing with the kings? Probably you'll see my picture with the Oni of Ife, the Elegushi, the Oniru, the Alara. What is he doing? What has light got to do with that? I'm not saying they are Dako. Kabesi, forgive me. What is light? I mean, what am I doing there? Look, I realize that most of my guys who are in my industry, who I'm coaching, they are from the real estate industry. And their lands are situated with this set of people. So I must become the friend of the owner of the land. Because you can buy the land, and when they say you can't use that land, you may not be able to use the land. You may not be. Hello, you may not be. Like, I'm not teaching as your pastor now. I'm just coming as a street boy. Street boy. Pastor Mayogun will tell you how to chase them supernaturally. But you see, that chasing supernaturally only happens to 1%. It is always the exception and not the rule. Haven't you realized? Oh, should I talk? Should I talk? Should I break this table? Haven't you realized that when you hear testimonies in church, it's only 1% of the total population of the church that give testimony? Go and find out. Go and do your research. They now use the 1% testimony to now intimidate the 99%. You see, God is doing great things. If it's not happening to you, it depends on how you are living your life. But Jesus Christ, when he came, he was 100%. So by the time you look at that, you don't just look at the exception, you look at the rules. How can we get this thing done? How can we navigate this terrain? I got friendly with this set of kings because I know there is coming a doom day when the children of darkness or fire will show up. I need to send their likes to them without necessarily bothering my head. One of my girls bought a land, and then she said they took the land off her. I tried to call the guy who took the land over. The guy did not listen to me. So I sent an emissary to one of the kings because he was in charge of that area. And the king summoned the 2 of them to a meeting. And at the end of the day, we realized that my own girl bought the land after the guy has bought the land. So she made the mistake of buying the land that's already been sold. But you know what? Because we have parleyed the owner, there are some things that we have done with the owner that they don't have a choice but to look for an alternative land for her. The KBSC called me, you know what? This is what happened, but I've instructed them to give her another land. Owners. One of my boys was going to lose 150 million naira land. He has bought it, he has paid. But he was facing restrictions. So I told him, on so day I will be with the KBSC. You can come and see. Let's see what we can do. So I sat down with the KBSC. We were talking and eating and everything. Interestingly, from the same plate. Eating and everything because we've gotten so close. And then this boy came in. I introduced him to the KBSC. This is my boy. KBSC was excited. Ah, you mean he's one of us? I said, yes, one of us. He was praying for him. Whatever the prayer is. He was excited. And the guy now said, I bought a land in your territory. I said, that's good. Where's the land? When he mentioned where he bought the land from, the countenance of the Kabiyesi changed. It was one of the chief that was now taking him up. How did you buy it? This and that and this and that. We have sworn nobody will be able to do anything on that land. They scolded him. He wanted to be responding. I told him, I use I to control him. Shut up. Shut up. Just absorb all the insults. Absorb everything. So after the all said and done, I said he should excuse us. Then I sat down with the Kabiyesi. The Kabiyesi said, if not for you, I will have ordered him out of the town. But guess what? We have paid the 150 million naira. We can't lose it. He has that land today. The owners. How dare you do a business that the regulators of your business don't know where you are? The associations are meeting, but yet you are not there. Your contribution is not there. Your presence is not there. And then you say you are doing business. You are endangered. One policy, one meeting, your hard-earned money can pave into insignificance. But you know what I do to these Kabiyesi that make them go out of their way? Do you want me to teach you? I service the relationship. Number one, I let them know I'm a pastor. So whenever they are going to another room, they tell me, Pastor, we are going to the other room. Oh. Do you want to come? I said, no, you go. When they tell me about the other room that they are going, they are trying to tell me, we want to go and do something that you may not be able to do. I said, I bid you farewell. I will be waiting for you here. These Kabiyesi, every year, I send cows to them. Cows. Not cow. Cows. Cows. And they begin to compare his cow with this cow. My cow is fatter than your own. Your own is this and that in my presence. There's something called EBA. 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 It's called emotional bank account. I took on one. I move on. Emotional bank account. Anybody you meet that your name and your face registers with them, you have opened an account in their emotional bank. Anything you do to them that stirs their emotions negatively, you are making withdrawals. Anything you do to them that stirs up their emotions positively, you are making deposits. You backbite, withdrawals. You say good things and they get to hear, deposit. You ask for favor, withdrawals. You give favors, deposit. I'm trying to figure out your face. I know. What's mouth? Forgive me. The last time we met was in Barbados. Oh, yeah, good. Now I know. You're looking younger. I don't know what you did. I'm just looking at her, saying, no, anything you do that stirs up the emotions positively, you're making deposit. That is why most people will ask and they will not receive. Why? Because the emotional deposit is not up to the check that you have written. Can you compare 5 cows, 7 cows to 150 million naira? Before the storm comes, make sure you have built shelters. Before the problem comes, keep building shelters. Not that the problem will come, but if eventually it does, you are set for it. We appeared not because we wore agbada. We appeared not just because we prayed in tongues. We appeared because we have deposited Eba on a regular basis. Once they have function, I'm there. They respect me, they give me my space. Pastor, 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 pastor. But I'm there. I make contributions. One of them, I painted the palace. Outside and inside. And you now say my 150 will go missing. How much is the paint? How much is the paint? How much is the appearing? With them, how much is it? Give a bar to your regulators. Give a bar to the people who have gone ahead of you in your industry. Give a bar to your pastor. Regular one. Look, you guys don't understand this. You know, sometimes there's a way you give her so much eba that even when she's praying, she won't know when she'll be mentioning your name in the tongues. I'm telling you, you don't understand. You know, whenever I go to Ilorin, whenever I step my feet in Ilorin, the first place my feet would touch down is the parent house of Sam Adeyemi. I will step out down there with bag of rice, bag of beans, and everything. I will deposit it to his parents' house. And they'll be there. They will say, Pastor, 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 hey. That's much I like the pastor coming from them. That's not where I want it to come from. So when I'm leaving, I don't give checks, cash, and I give it to them for your recharge card, specifically. This is for your recharge card. Buy the card. Call your son. Let him know I came. So the son will call me. Babane yo. Thank you. This and that. Now tell me if my file is on the son's table. Will you not look at it? Even the file is not complete, it will tell me what to do. Many people don't know that for you to be reached, it's not about information. It's about privileged information. Information that will come when the meeting is over. That this and this and these are the things that you should do. But privileged information does not come unless you have privileged access. You must have privileged access. Sometimes you pay for that access. Sometimes you go out of your way to make sure that access is guaranteed. And whenever you appear, there is a new information. There's a new information. I think it was one wealthy man. I can't remember his name. I saw the video. Indian, very wealthy man. His driver was there. His driver was time to retire. So he said he wanted to set his driver up. He wanted to give him money. The driver said that he appreciates the gesture, but he's okay. And he's wondering, you're okay? How did you get money? He said, what? I was driving you. You were talking about the kind of stocks to buy to your friends on the phone. You were complaining about what to sell. You were saying where to invest to your friends. So I was dropping. As you were saying, buy PepsiCo. I took 2 naira to PepsiCo. When you were saying, don't buy this, I quickly went and withdraw my stuff and did this. That is inside information without necessarily being inside information. But he was at the right place at the right time. You can't afford not to be in circles of the people who are doing well in business. There are some things that they will say. That's all you need. LBS cannot give you. Will Harvard tell you to go and talk to politicians? Harvard. They won't tell you that if you've been there. Or cut the owners. And it's everywhere. Whether in Nigeria, whether in America, whether anywhere, it's everywhere. So you must be friends with this set of people. You want to make more money? Be their friend. You want to grow your business? Be their friend. Collaborate with them. Let them know you are always around. Now, how many minutes do I have left? My time is up. Talk to me. Who is Modi Mark here? Mrs. Modi Bidemi. Huh? I'm going to be with her next week. Yeah, next week. Yeah, next week. Yeah, when I heard your name, I had to check online. Thank you for inviting me. Okay, let me quickly talk about this. Can you see it? Can you see? Okay, the flyer is blocking. Okay, showing there, but it's not showing here. But anyway, don't let me talk what I want to say. The first is operation. There are levels to this. Now, sometimes the reason why your business is not thriving is because when your leadership is supposed to evolve, it didn't evolve. When your leadership is supposed to move or change, it did not change. You stayed with operations and you didn't graduate to operational management. All I've said, managing the kings, managing the owner, having all the accountants and everything could just be operations. You're making money, you're trading, money is coming in, and please, don't ever think because you are making billions right now, it's a guarantee that you keep making billions in the next 5-10 years. It is not a guarantee. How many of us, our businesses have done 5 years? Let me see your hands. More than 5 years. More than 10 years. More than 10 years. Let me see your hands now, be bold enough. More than 10 years. You see, those are the people who are just in business. Any business that is below 10 years has not started. Because statistics does not favor you. I can't go into that. But you're looking at the long time. So you may be in business just based on operations. I'm selling, I'm making money, I'm selling, I'm making money. I've seen people who make billions of naira. I'm saying billions in their tens and their hundreds. Boom! Just at the snap of your fingers, everything starts going down the drain. So you make money, you have operation, you have opened shop, you have opened the office. And please don't rush to open office when you leave your former place of work. And then you open office, and then you employ the messenger, you employ the secretary, you employ the driver, you employ accountant, you employ everybody at once. Because that is how you were living in your former employment. Not knowing that you are not the one paying for those people. Now that you are your own owner, you will be paying for these people. You come to business with 100 million. If you are not careful, you use that 100 million to pay salaries, pay rent, and then after you have exhausted it, then you begin to start afresh. Operations, you're making money. Then you move to the next level, which is operational management. This is where you get professionalized. This is where nobody works for you or comes into your organization without going through the proper recruitment process. There is a set-down recruitment process that is more powerful than you, or CEO. There is a set-down recruitment process or processes that is bigger than you. Then you begin to put things in place. The systems and structure, SOPs and everything. Your staff handbook is your constitution. You see, that staff handbook is more powerful than you, or CEO. Your staff handbook is more powerful than you, oh senior pastor. I know you pastor a church in Abeokuta, am I right? Okay, yeah, I know you. And so, oh senior pastor, your staff handbook is more powerful than you. You know, so many years back, we were on a project, and one of my staff wrote that he wants to go on vacation. I shouted in the office, is he okay? Does he know that we have a project? He can't go. No way. He should be sensitive enough to know that we are on a project. I was livid. So the guy sent me a mail and quoted my staff handbook. The section, why he should go on leave. I saw the mail, I was angrier. But I told myself the way I react to this mail will set a precedent to these people to know that whether I respect this staff handbook or not. Because your staff handbook is more powerful than you, CEO. That's how you have a system. Called him into the office. I had to negotiate with him how to split the leave. Instead of going just 3 weeks, can we do 1 week now? And then come back again, do another 1 week, and then come back again, do another 1 week. I had to make him agree, or else I don't have a staff handbook. And my people know that. Whatever the brainwave, they go and look for the handbook. So if there is something in the handbook that I don't like, after they have gotten their way, they will call a committee to review the handbook. Nobody can work with me without going through the 3 process of recruitment. And it's the last process that I'm involved in. And the last process, I'm not checking for technicalities. I'm not checking for competence. You know what I'm checking for? I'm not even checking for character. I'm checking for chemistry. Can we work together? Can I feel, do you understand our values? Do you understand our values? I'm checking for that. Are you the best fit when it comes to culture in my organization? Because my job as a CEO is to protect the culture. The guys at the basement don't understand how to protect the culture. I will protect the culture. So let's assume that you are past the operational management process. Now you see now that when you were doing operation, it was you. You were in charge of everything. Now when you move to operational management, you lose control to paper. Hope you know that. You lose control to SOPs. You lose control to structures and systems. But then you need to go to the 3rd level, which is operational leadership. And operational leadership is when you begin to control or manage the people that manages the system. You begin to manage the people. This is where you know the best fits. And let me say this, mighty women of God, this is where most of you get stuck. Because you are relational people. You get stuck at this point. This is not where the future is. This is not where the money is. Let us manage ourselves. Let us do all these things so that we can move forward. Operational leadership. It's good. But for you to stay relevant and to be a captain of industry, you must move into that realm of strategic leadership. And strategic leadership is where you manage ideas and ideologies. Ideas and ideologies. CEO, once you get your act together, you don't have to be at work every day. You don't have to make 10 decisions in a month. Your job is to make 2 or 3 important decisions. That's all you need. But for you to make those 2 or 3 important decisions, you must know when they are coming. And you must be able to free your mind enough not to be encumbered by the day-to-day runnings of your organization. Once you are encumbered about the day-to-day running of organization, who is talking to this, who is messing around with this, who is talking, who is not. I mean, when you are encumbered with relationships within the organization, which is important, but that's not your job as CEO. Sometimes I don't come to the office. Sometimes I'm in a hotel, having lunch and dinner. Sometimes I'm out of the country because there's a relationship that I have to meet up with. Sometimes you board a plane, not because you are going anywhere, but because you know somebody will be in the plane. Oh, you don't know? Oh, yeah? Because whenever all of us are in the plane, we are very humble. Because we are not in control of the plane. So when you greet them, they will answer you. When you greet them, they will answer you. Strategic leadership. Ideas and ideologies. You know, the guy that I said had 400,000 naira in his account and came back to Nigeria, started building, 3-story buildings, 4 stories actually, 3-story, whatever it is. Depends on where you are, whether you're in UK or America. The ground floor is car park, then he does 3 floors on it. He has done more than 5 of those units now, from 400,000 naira. What happened? Whenever we are outside the country, I make sure they are not concerned about what is happening in the organization. We have tidied that up by helping them employ a sound head of operations that will be in charge and give them report on a weekly basis. So what do I do to them? We go on the yacht in the middle of the night, beside water. And I make them see pictures. The yacht is going on water for 2-3 hours. No teaching. Conversations. 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 What am I trying to do? I'm trying to influence their ideas and their ideologies. I'm trying to bring pictures into their minds. I'm trying to make them see life in a different dispensation. I'm trying to make them see that whatever you think was not possible, look at it. Look at it. It is possible. Look at it. And I'm trying to make them see that the guys who did this don't have 2 heads. They were born 9 months just like you are. Although they were born in a different location, but it does not really matter. Whatever can be done, even if you can't do it at this large scale, you can pick it up at a particular level. We take them on the yacht. We don't do that in the classroom. Because there is a reason for that. Having to ask yourself this question. Jacob and Laban, speckled sheep and plain one. Why was God changing it every now and then? I know it's supernatural. I know. I agree. I am not taking anything out of the supernatural. But I'm just trying to make you look at the process Jacob did. There was something Jacob did. There must have been a reason why he did it. And we didn't hear that God told him to put it at a particular place or not. You know what he did? The Bible says he will put a strip and then place the strip beside the water. When the goat or the sheep will come and drink water. Look, there is a programming that must take place for you to live in abundance. I know some people will hear programming, want to better. I don't like this programming thing. If you don't like programming thing, you don't believe in it, it's because you have been programmed already not to believe in it. Everybody is programmed. Right from your cradle, you were programmed. That is why some of the poverty mentality that we are fighting today came from programming. Money don't grow on trees. Programming. I have eaten. It's more important than I am bellyful. Programming. Hope you don't know that. Programming. And then you now leave your mother. You now went to school. And you now met teachers that are poor. Especially when you went to public school like I did. We now went to teachers that are poor. So they now entrench that programming further. We went to the university also, you met the poor lecturers. Even the classroom you were, is already telling you, you may not succeed, you may not succeed, you may not succeed, you may not succeed. That is also what programming. So, you want to yank yourself away from them, what you need to do is to change your environment. I think that's a sign that my time is up. But have you been blessed? Have you been blessed? Have you been blessed? No, this is street knowledge. Street knowledge. After you have gotten this street credibility and everything, that's when prayer is sweet. That's when prayer is sweet. That's when praying in tongues is sweet. That's when praying in tongues is sweet. After all this knowledge, you now begin to kabash in the spirit. And then God begins to tell you which one to use among those strategies. When the unbeliever comes with their own strategy, you are aware of it. And you know what to do to stop it. You know what you're supposed to do to get the attention of the people you want to get their attention. So as a strategic leader, you must free yourself to think. Any business that the CEO does not think will stink. Take that from me. Anything that is taking you away from thinking is taking you away from your future. Anything. Even the apostles understood this. Was it in Acts chapter 6 or so? They said we can't serve tables upon people to get that thing done. Delegate that. We must give ourselves continually to our prayer and to the study of the word. We must engage the supernatural. We must engage the extraterrestrial. Anything that takes you away from thinking, whether you are a pastor, whether you're a businessman, whether you are a CEO, anything that takes you away from thinking is sinking your organization. You cannot afford it. So that's why you need to pay people to do the job. Your job is not to do the job. Your job is not to get the job done. Your job is to bring in the job to be done. Your job is to know what is AI going to do to your business in the next 5 years and to be prepared for it. Your job is to look at the people who are your competitors, whether are ahead of you, who are coming behind you. What are they doing? How are they doing it? How can we capitalize on this? That is your job. Your job is strategy, not operations. Pay good salary. Get a functional number 2. Get a functional number 3. Train them. And don't just train them alone, no. You must have a pipeline. Because there is a jackpot syndrome. Because you can't blame them. If they have to travel, they have to travel. So that's why when you have a number 2 or a sound number 3, it's always good. You give them a stake in the organization to tie them down. You're not the only one that should go on a vacation to Bahamas. They should go on a vacation to Dubai also. Sponsored by the office. It's not only you that you have a house. They should have a house. It's not only your children that should go to the best schools. Their own children also need to go to the best schools. With that way, you tie down your number 2 as much as you can, although you can't, but you try. And then make sure there's a number 3, make sure there's a number 4. Because there's something they call the key man risk. When somebody is a key man in your organization, it's a risk. So you have to have a lot of key men. You have to have a lot of key men. And that's why having an SOP, standard of operation, is very important. So that when this person leaves, he just gives us the paper, we transfer it to the next person, the person knows what to do. But your job is strategic thinking. You know there's a fifth one there, I'll stop there. Which is what? Sophisticated leadership. You know, I told you that if you get a call from FIRS, don't go on your own. You know, there's a time you do businesses that are raking in billions. Whether you are doing it right or doing it right. Because I believe you're not doing wrong. Whether you're doing it right or doing it right, EFCC will invite you. Don't go. Talk to your owners. Talk to lawyers sometimes may not get the job done. So this is where you have to build strategic relationships. What you need to do is to put a call, probably to Pastor Mayokun, on one Alhaji Sikiru that you know. Alhaji or Pastor Mayokun, they called me to come to UFCC. I said, no, don't go yet. Let me get back to you. So they now call you back and say, when you get to EFCC, ask for Aruna. Tell him you are from me. He knows what to do. So you meet 10 people on the queue. So you get there, you ask for Aruna. And Aruna does not answer you. And then you say, I am from Mayokun. Mayokun? Okay. She called me. Come, follow me. And then he checks your paper. This one is not necessary. Do you have this? I don't have. Come with it tomorrow. And then he puts you through. And then you leave the 10 people that are on the queue. Is that not favor? Is that not the grace of God? Common sense that is not common. So, as the CEO, your job is strategic leadership. Operational leadership is meant for your chief operating officer. CEO, strategic leadership. Your chairman must be sophisticated. I don't need your strategy. I need your connection. When you are appointing chairman, that's why, ladies, listen to me. The terrain is rough. They will brush you. They will harass you. They will tell you you can't move to that level. That is why you need a sophisticated chairman who knows the people that there was none. So it dawned on us that these people have been waiting for this time. That this guy that is shining will catch you one day. And they really caught him. It was in their grip. And guess what? This is how sophistication works. He told us that some people will come to meet him, that he needs to join their group, join their cult, and they will make this thing disappear. But he said he held on to God. But we too have to quickly step in and look at how we can get him out in the sophisticated way. When we saw that he wasn't doing all those donations, we had to recommend a sophisticated lawyer. Not a brilliant lawyer. He's always brilliant anyway. Not a strategic lawyer, a sophisticated lawyer. I know they are not cheap to get. The lawyer that was lawyer to Buhari, lawyer to Tinubu, lawyer to Obasanjo, lawyer to... It was Ambode's season then. lawyer to all of them. He got him to defend him. And you think that all decisions are made in court. You think so? We don't know where the case is right now. But the guy has come out of the 47 billion. He was recently awarded the national honors, OON. Why? Because he played the sophisticated game. Look for a good chairman. You know, I didn't say chairwoman. Yeah. So that we can balance it. Like I said, you come and correct everything mistake I made. Look for a sophisticated, because you need that balance. You need that balance. The richest women had that balance. And even the ones that are not, they are self-made, I'm sure if you look deep into them, they also had the balance. It's always good if you can get a sophisticated chairperson. I've corrected it. Chairperson who's got the connection. One phone call can dissolve every issue. Are we good? And your sophisticated person must be giving a bar regularly. Don't wait till problem shows up. Don't wait. Whenever they are having a gathering, don't look at the money. And don't start fooling yourself and say, you know what? There's nothing they will even teach me that is new. Nobody can teach you anything new. We can just teach you something fresh. You don't go to gatherings for content. You go to gatherings for connection. What the rich man's son had that you don't have is introduction and connection. Elumelu takes his daughter. Right when I come back next time, I'll talk about generational wealth. How do you need to think about that? Going from generation to generation. You know, the first wealth builder, they build. The second generation sustains. The third generation, they squander. You must be prepared for it. Statistic. He takes his daughter everywhere. Meet my daughter. Okay. Introduction and connection. Introduction and connection. So if there is nobody to take you, you need to take yourself. And introduce yourself and then connect. Introduce yourself and then connect. You cannot want to be in the billion naira income generation and you are not in the gathering of the people who gather billions. Not possible. If you get it, you will lose it after a while. They know how to go about it. They know what to do. They know what to say. So your job is to get in there. Privileged information comes through what? Privileged access. Shikena. God bless you. Forgive me, I have taken your time.
Were you blessed?
Whether you know somebody or you don't know them.
Thank you, Dr. Niyi Adesanya, for that awesome session. How many of us were powerfully blessed? I want us to give it up to God for giving us this privilege. One of the takeouts I got from what you just shared, sir, you said privileged information comes through access. Now, one of the questions I'd like to ask, one of the questions I have here, sir, one of us is asking, when the Bible says that we should not be unequally yoked with unbelievers, how do we navigate our way with this? from the context of what you shared. Can you please shed more light?
Okay. Okay, I think Pastor Mayoko will shed more light on that, but this is it. Let me say this. That's probably one of the limiting mentality that we have. And that's one of the things that has hindered us even from our household. How many of you have been told never to talk to strangers? But if you want to make money, you must talk to non-strangers. And then please know this very well, that Jesus Christ did not die for the body of Christ. Hope you know that.
Yes, sir.
The Bible says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, not for God so loved the body of Christ. So once that has been cleared with you, you know that your reach is the world, not Christians. And you can't survive all by yourself without interacting. And being of equal yoke is different from doing business with people. Okay, do you now put your wares out there and not tell them it's only Christians that can come and buy this? I'm sure the person is talking out of the conversation that we have that I'm closer to the KBACs. Interestingly, one of the KBACs is a church member. We attend the same church. Actually, the first time I met him, he bowed for me. The second time I met him, I prostrated. Because the first time I met him, he was not a KBAC. He was a church member, and I'm a pastor. So the second time I met him, he was a KBAC. As a proper Yoruba boy, I prostrated. But that doesn't mean that we are that close and then we do a lot of things together. There are some things that they do that I don't have to partake in it. But this is where the caveat comes in. If you have this mentality of equally yoked with a non-believer, please stay in church. Because you'll be messed up. Now let me give you a good example. If you see Bishop Oyedepo and Portable together, no, Portable is even too small. Femi Kuti eating on the same table, having a conversation. Who will you be worried for? How will you be worried for Bishop Oyedepo? And you think whatever Femi Kuti will do will affect Bishop Oyedepo? You'll be worried for Femi Kuti. So what am I trying to say here? If you know you're not strong enough as a Christian, you will be influenced by these people easily. Your self-esteem is not strong. Then stay in church, don't go and do business. I remember the first time I met Dioni, myself, Brother Kayode Adiago, and then one other friend. It was 1 a.m. in the middle of the night in his hotel room. So when he knew we were pastors, he wanted us to go into an argument. He quoted scriptures. And he said, let us argue. That was what the word he used. And I would say, KBC, how can we argue with you? We can't argue with you. Whatever you say is right. He said, okay. Don't let us argue. Let us debate. I said, KBC, we can't debate. Whatever you say is right. So when we left, they were not talking to ourselves. So, do you think what he will say will affect us? Will it make me derail from the Christ that I know? But look,
the Oni of Ife has opened more doors for me than some pastors would do. He has able to help me deal with situations on the streets that probably some Christians don't even know about. It's all about strategic relationships. What you're trying to say is that when you become a president, that means you should not have any unbeliever in your cabinet, or anybody who is from other profession or religion in your cabinet. Being of equally yoked, I think the pastors will help us a bit, and then let us know that, most of the time we quote that even when it comes to marriage. Marriage is okay. People who come on my board, it's okay. But at the same time, I should be wise enough to know that I need to have diversity in my board. I need to be able to send one person to a particular place that some other people may not be able to go. You must have that balance. And please, don't be worried for me. I've been their friends for 5 years now. And then when I want to pray and they are there, they stand up. They don't remove their caps, but they stand up. They give me my space. They worship God, the God, Christian way. They may be doing some other things, but that doesn't stop. That doesn't affect my faith in any way. Hope that helps.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Now, you spoke so much about EBA, giving it hot or cold as they prefer. Now, someone wants to find out, how can she retrace her step or correct her wrongdoings to her benefactors?
Come again.
Someone wants to ask, she's asking, how can she retrace her steps? She's been wrongly behaved to her benefactors. She's withdrawn, so much from the EBA. So she wants to find out, how can she reconnect? How
Deposit.
can she build her back?
Yeah. Deposit. Send gift. Be available. Don't ever ask for help for a very long time. And if you have messed up the situation before, let your gift speak. Don't let your presence speak. Do you understand what I'm saying? Don't even show up yet. Let your gift speak for you while you pray over the situation. Don't show up yet. So as you do that regularly, they will come to a time where they will be the one, you are sending gifts, you're always doing this and that. When next are we seeing? That means you have closed the gap. And then when you see them the next time, don't ask for favors. Look, when you meet greatness, whether now or later, or whether you are familiar with greatness, always try not to ask for favors. But always do favors to greatness. Don't appear before greatness empty-handed. Look, I became, with all modesty, I became the highest paid motivational speaker in Nigeria. Like from 2012 to probably 2017. I was signed up by a telecoms company, Etisalat. And then what they pay me for appearing on the stage is what they pay those musicians those days. Terry G and myself were earning almost the same amount. How did it happen? After meeting the CEO at a function, we decided to meet in his office in Lagos. Then I went there with a gift, a book, 6,000 naira book. And the man was opening it, a white man. And he said, why did you give me this? I said, you know what? From where I come from, African culture and tradition, that we don't appear before greatness empty-handed. And then he sat back. went to the book again. And then that singular move, he was now asking, how can we work together? I didn't ask him, I've been going to the universities on my own with my money. I didn't ask him, let us go on this trip together. I put those flyers in the, carrier bag that had the book. So after looking at the book, he looked at those flyers. You go to the universities, and we have something like that. I will make you meet the director of communications and brand. Boom. That was how I started. And then from there, I went to over 60 tertiary institutions. And for every time I appear on the stage, something has entered my account. And whenever they're having a function, I appear there. He sees me. And there are some people in my industry that came to my space. They lobbied people that how can it be only Niyi that is getting this attention? They got in once. They didn't come back again. Why? Because Stephen Evans saw them and said, where is Niyi? They said, Niyi is not available. That's why we got this person. He said, I don't want to see this person again. I want Niyi. So they will have to come and look for me again and again. Why? Because of a 6,000 naira book and appearing at every function. That's the power of EBA. But when you come back into that space, don't ask for favor. They will offer it themselves. They will offer it themselves. Look, I was in Dubai. A guy came from Manchester to Dubai. He saw what we did in Manchester. He said, I want to introduce you to another man in London. Let me mention him. They're good friends and good expounds. He said, I want to introduce you to Canon Yemi Adedeji. So Canon Yemi Adedeji came to Dubai, the second Dubai. He said, Niyi, I have to introduce you to somebody else. So he introduced me to, He introduced me to Agu Iruku. Agu Iruku came to Doha last year. Agu Iruku said, Niyi, I want to introduce you to someone else. Agu Iruku introduced me to Lord Michael Hastings, a Lord, House of the Lords in England, one of the 1% in the UK. And guess what? Lord Hastings came to Doha in March. Lord Hastings invited me to come to the House of Lords and took me on a tour and introduced me to other people. And Lord Hastings is coming to Nigeria in November.
Wow.
Now, you can see what is happening. I didn't ask for favors, but I was doing favors. And then there's something about life. When you're spoiled a place, send gifts and show them that you have improved without necessarily saying, I have improved. Let your work speak for you. Let your work speak excellence. These guys that were coming, for them to be recommending me to somebody because of what they saw on the ground. I mean, look at what we did to some of them in Doha. They came down from the plane. As they were coming from the plane in Doha, a car was waiting for them at the foot of the aircraft. The people dressed in Qatar Airways, they picked them up from the tarmac. They didn't see immigration officers. Their passports were taken, stamped and everything. They went. They came to the hotel. They didn't check in. The hotel has already checked them in. They went straight to their room. That was excellent speaking. All this while they've not seen me. When they saw me was in class. There was no spirit left in them again. What am I trying to say here? Don't ask for favors. unless they probe you. What can I do for you? Give and give and give and give and give. There will come a time your giving will speak for you. They will be the one to go all ahead and make sure things happen for you. So, don't come with your presence yet, you're spoiled to the ground, but let your gift speak. After a while, your gift will be so loud that they will be the one to invite you. Pastor Niyi, it's been a while we saw you. When next can you come in to visit? Or they're having a party, they now invite you. Behave well when you get to that party. Don't eat anyhow, don't talk anyhow. Don't worry, let's take the next question.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Niyi. Can I crave the indulgence of the house that we all please keep our voices low so that we can benefit from the session that we're having? Would you do that for yourself? Thank you. So going forward, Dr. Niyi, you said something when you just started the session. And as businessmen and women here, you said we should take...
I was going to ask, are there men here? No.
Yes, we have men in the house. You said we should take loans. And you didn't consider the fact that there are certain levels at which, you have startups, you have people that are trying to scale up. At another point in time, you also asked, how many of you have been in business for 5 years? How many have been in 10 years? I would like you to put a balance in here such that we can learn at what point do you think it is safe for us to now use other people's money in our business?
From the beginning. Other people's money has different definitions. When you raise funds from your family members, hello? The first loan you get when you are starting a business is probably from your dad and your mom, your brothers and your sisters and your friends. That's a loan. Just most of those loans, you don't return it. But then, when we say go borrow, go borrow, go borrow, go borrow, but you have to borrow with sense. Remember the scripture we quoted. After she has borrowed, she went back to the prophet, and the prophet said what? Go and sell it. The prophet didn't say go and use it. So, you don't borrow to consume. You borrow to reproduce and reproduce and reproduce. Now, you see, sometimes when you go looking for money, you may not get it. But when you build a business to a point, you'll be shocked that even the people who have the money are the people that will be looking for you. I had a situation once, I was just doing something. A man called me and asked me, what can I do with 500 million naira? I mean, this is COVID period. Advise me, I have 500 million naira, what can I do with it? I gave him all the advice. Euro bond, I'm already doing it. Buy properties. I have properties in Banana Island. I mean, he mentioned everything. Everything I said when it comes to investment, he said he was already doing. Then I said, you know what we can do with the 500 million is look for young people that are doing business that we can invest in. So you'll be doing two things, sir. You'll be helping them to grow, and your money will also multiply. Although I got my fingers burnt by sending the money to those young people. But that's not the question for today. What I'm trying to say is that some people who have the money, once you show your capacity to be able to manage it, they will offer it themselves. The banks are looking at your bank statement. Once you hit 1 billion, not 1 billion, okay, 100 million, 50 million, 150 million, they will be the one to pursue you. But definitely, if you have the money to start. But most of the time, most of us did not start the business until we got other people involved. We got money from friends. We got money from family members. But the only thing that spoils the whole thing is that you don't return those money back. And I also advise you, don't ever borrow a family member money to do business that has not gone to a business school or understand what business is. You just give a grant, not a loan. You won't get it back. So that's the balance. Don't go looking for loans all the time. If you want to scale, then you can get a loan. If you want to scale,
But your scaling and getting a loan must be informed by consultants. Because it's easier for you to get the loan, it's more difficult for you to return those money. And many people have lost businesses because sometimes they got a wrong equity or a wrong debt. There's a pharmacy, there's a story that went, they got somebody a startup fund and everything. Sometimes those startup funds may be a way of edging you out. And those guys who are giving you money are also looking at you that eventually this person will not be able to pay. And this person cannot be able to pay. There are clauses that they will take over the organization no matter how you make noise. So that's why you have to pray and then be prepared. But before you go out to make any move for any loan, make sure you have expert advice. But definitely, no business is doing billions of dollars, billions, multi-million dollar business that are doing it only with their money. Not possible. If there are some, they are just less than 0.0001 of the businesses around. And they cannot be top 100 businesses in the world. And they cannot be top 50 businesses even in Nigeria. And then you want to play the big game. So you need OPM. But before you go, make sure you put your house in order. Or else we may take over your business if you can't pay us back our money.
Thank you so much, Dr. Niyi. I have another question to you before I go over to MDA. It says, sir, please speak on character and how it affects leadership, not only integrity, but character as a whole.
Well, character is everything. Your yes should be your yes and your no should be your no. If your no is going to change, if your yes is going to change to no, you owe us an explanation. Whatever you promise you will do, you should try as much as possible to do it. And if you cannot do it, then you need to come back and explain to us before the expiry date. You said you would do something 10th of June, but you know you can't meet up 10th of June. You need to put a call to us to explain why you cannot meet up 10th of June. Once it is 11th of June and you are explaining, that is not integrity. Before the 10th of June, you must explain to us why this and this is not possible. Character is everything. Look, nobody, no investor will do business with you if they can't sense character. And they sense character through your bank statements and then I mentioned it before. I mentioned it now. Statement, well, statement of account for now. They know your behaviors. They know what you can do. Look, you can't, okay, you guys are not, you are ladies here. I tell my men most of the time that the reason why you can't scale is because you lose sanity in the midst of riches. People lose their mind. They begin to have baby mamas everywhere. And then when those things can reflect in your account and you are not tidy enough, the investors can see it. And they know that if they give you the money is going to this and that. And it messes up the whole thing. So, I hope I've answered it.
Yes, sir.
No, I've not. What's the question again?
About character.
Yeah, okay, character. Yeah, that's it. Look, your yes must be yes and your no must be no. I've had encounters with people that we ended up in the police station. But after a while, they beg and they apologize, and we say, okay, what do you want to do? Give us what you want to do. You tell us what you want to do, and then we move according to what you want to do. And you are still relenting on that. You are still breaking those promises. At the point that I got tired of going to the police. I got tired. And I had to start paying. You remember the man that gave me money for them? I had to start paying the money back with my own money. I got tired. If you are going to change what you have said, before the due date, you should call me. There's something about communication. You know when you're owing people and you are still talking to them, it's okay. When you stop talking to them, that's where the problem is. Character, you can't deal with anybody that has character flaws. You can't. You must be able to keep your word, no matter how difficult those things are. You must be able to stay accountable to your staff.
Because they know how money comes in. If you have bad character and everything, you're spending anyhow, they know. And they know whether they will stay with you or they will leave. Your yes must be your yes. Your no must be your no. If it's going to turn, you owe us an apology. And look, people are watching you. People are watching you. You're a role model. And you must exemplify character. I have some guys in the business world. And you know in the business world, many things happen. Those guys are, when you see a young guy who has money, I have a very young guy, he's 29 years old. He's in billions. This young guy, 25 years old, has a Rolls Royce. Rolls Royce. He showed me. But in the midst of that, they always come back to me. Why? Because in the midst of they losing it, when I'm in their midst, I stay true to my call. I stay true to my orientation. And because of that, they still come back whenever they have some challenging and everything. I mean, one of them gave birth to a son. For the first time, he didn't allow his pastor to name the child. He didn't allow anybody to come from the church. He told me, sir, you are going to be the one to name it. Name him. And I name his baby. If I had character flaws, he wouldn't want me to lay hands on that son. It's a serious matter. So, as businessmen, keep your yes to be yes and your no to be no. Let people know you for who you are. But that doesn't mean you're not sensitive. Because in the process of being, okay, I'm a yes man, I'm a yes man, I'm a yes man, I want to keep my yes, and you begin to talk to people anyhow. People who have character flaw, you begin to flaw them in public. You will miss opportunities. Let them know who you are, that you're a man of character, but that doesn't mean you do not embrace the ones who have character flaws.
Yes, you are.
Next question. Or we are done.
No, we're
Not
not.
yet, sir. Okay, so this female participant wants to know how she can maintain a relationship, talking about integrity, relationships with men and all of those, just to secure integrity. And can also speak generally, how can we set boundaries?
That's a tough one. There are there are wolves in sheep clothing. Dangerous ground. Igboro ti daru. What I have seen in the business terrain is not comparable to what I saw as a pastor. And women are the one facing the most difficult times. Because you see, all these men that we're talking about, all these owners, they are very, very... I'm live. They could be very randy. Nothing goes for nothing. That is the language. But this is what you do. That's why I was mentioning one of the things that get somebody on your board that you can go together, who understand this game, who understand them. But most importantly, even you as an individual, you have to be careful. I tell young ladies this, and I think can apply to you too. When you are discussing with them, they intentionally or strategically try to move the conversation from formal to informal. If you go with them, you are gone. If you go with them, you're gone. When they begin to say, who is taking care of you? Don't answer. Or you tell them, my husband. If
you're looking nice, though. Who is? Those conversations, you have to stay professional as much as you can with a lot of politeness and respect. If you cross the line, you're gone. And it's one thing after the other they will be throwing at you, throwing at you, throwing at you. You may not succumb. But if you start that conversation, they don't pay attention to you after a while. Because they feel, okay, she led me on. She was going along. She just stopped. But when you stay professional as much as you can, she wants to get your attention. No more question. Me too, I don't want question. So, just make sure that you stay very professional. I tell single ladies this, when they're talking to you and they ask you, who's your boyfriend? Tell them you rather want to stay professional as much as you can, with so much respect. Once you go to answer them who your boyfriend is or was or is, you have already gone away from the formal setting to the informal setting. And again, you too, when you are going to the offices, don't weaponize your fashion against them. You know you have all the cuffs. You know you have everything. When you appear like this, for few seconds we can't talk again. And then sometimes it's not even the guys that you are looking for mentoring from. It's their friend. Because you enter like this, Ajanoku koja mori confident. Tabareri ka so pa reri. Niyi, omo re. Stay professional. Stay professional. That's why I would advise you, get your husband involved in the business. Some of you need to send your husbands to me. Even if you are the... Okay. You and your husband can come to me. She said she thought I came for the women. Let's balance up this thing. I mean, there's some things that advice cannot work. You need to be on the line for you to know what to do. And sometimes when you have a covering, when you have somebody that they know that this person is like this and this person is strong also, they respect your space. But you also need to also respect your space. You need to talk fondly of your spouse, of your husband. Don't ever discuss family issues with your male mentor without his wife being there. At first, it's an armless conversation. He didn't have intention, neither did you have intention. But there's something about attention that goes for a long time. It gets into the emotions. And then once it gets into the emotion, problem has started. Get your husband involved. And the two of you can come to me. Let's balance up the whole thing. There are so many battles we fight for ladies. I mean, the lady that bought the land that somebody bought, they were going to mess her up because she was a woman. But then we stepped in. Sometimes you need a covering like that. You need covering. I think, Pastor Mayoko, when is your master class? Where? Online. Are they paying? Okay, good. I will join them. I will join. Just give me like 30, 40 minutes, and then we can work on that. I will join. So we have more conversations there, because most of the things that we are so troubled about are just having some street sense, and we'll be able to tackle a lot of things. Good.
Thank you, Dr. Niyi. And that's a wrap for today. Can we rise and celebrate?